So yeah, my nipples are out, and I think they've been out this whole time. You know what? I'm not gonna be insecure about this. People, control your thoughts, please.
When you care enough about someone, you don't give up.
Hey everybody, welcome to my channel. My name's Teyanna, and today we are celebrating saggy titties. Woo! Okay, so as you guys can tell by the title of the video, for 1 week I went completely braless. And for some of you guys out there, that may not sound like a really big deal, but for me, as somebody that I actually don't even know my boob size. Before I gained weight, I was a triple D, so I don't even know what they are now. So yeah, I just have never felt the most comfortable like not wearing a bra, but I recently watched this video by Maddie Dragspick. I don't know if that's how you say it, sorry if I'm saying it wrong, but she's gone 2 years without wearing a bra, which I thought was incredible. And I was just listening to her video, I was like really vibing with it. I was like, wow, this is so cool. And then the woman that inspired her was, I don't know her actual name, but her Instagram is called Slumflower, and she started this up when she was 19, and she decided to stop wearing bras as well. And it's become like this whole movement for her. I'll link the video down below where she talks about it. And watching both of those women's videos, I was so inspired, and I just felt the need to try this out. I think there's a couple of things that led up to this that made me feel comfortable enough doing this. One was I over the summer became aware of a term called like the male gaze, which some of you might have known about that for a really long time. I just recently found out about it, or just recently learned about it. And then like the man. Okay, hey, I'm back. Hopefully the lighting is good enough and hopefully you can hear me. But I got cut off because my roommate came in, and not into my room but into the apartment, and I just got so embarrassed. So I panicked and like cut it off, as you guys saw. But anyway, so let's finish talking about like the male gaze and the man in my head. And it's this whole idea, if you guys don't know about it, that everything we do because of patriarchy causes us to work for male approval, even if we're not intentionally being like, oh, like I'm seeking this out. It could be little things like, you know, shaving your armpits. I had to take the time to realize that I was shaving my armpits because that was a standard set by men for women to be hairless. And something I just learned in my social justice class that I think is really important is knowing that you can't look at men, because I like always say like I eat men for breakfast, and I'm not kidding. Like I had like this and I still do have like this very jaded feeling towards men. But in my book they made a really great point that when you attack like, oh, there's men out there that sexually assault people, there's men out there that are misogynist, blah blah blah, you make it sound like, or what's happening is that it allows room for men that don't do that to feel like they're not a part of the problem, and almost for us to feel like we're not being oppressed even if we're not necessarily intentionally doing things for men. And it's because misogyny, sexism, and all that are held together by a system, and the only way a system keeps going is by people participating and people not participating. So unless you're actively working against patriarchy, you are fueling a system. So an example of that would be like being like, oh, I wear a bra for me, but then not deconstructing why did women first start wearing bras? Do I have to wear a bra all the time? Blah blah blah. And then once you start doing that, and then I think you become more aware of it, you can realize how you are a part of a system that oppresses women. And that's not to go to say to like blame the victim, but it's also almost to say not to blame men in the same way I think even like I was before. They're also just part of a system. Like, they were born into the system, they're taught these things, and so the best thing to do is to educate people so they have the tools to actively work against them. And that's what I'm trying to do now with myself, like reconditioning my idea of what femininity looks like and what I can be as a woman. And that's what I did with this week's vlog. And let me just say, I went into this feeling very, 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 very nervous. I think I first became aware that my boobs were like not as perky watching actually films. And there's two movies that are like so vivid in my head. I don't even know the names of them, but these scenes. One of them was their sister, I think, had just passed away or something, and they were talking about how when she laid down, her boobs didn't flop to the side, and they're like praising her about it. And I was like, oh my god, I think at that time I was still pretty young and my boobs were already falling off to the side a bit. And I got really sad about that. And then the other one was just this scene after the two characters had been intimate, and she stood up completely naked and was like, oh, like, correct me, like, tell me what I need to fix. And it was supposed to be like this like quirky, almost romantic scene. Like, I'm not explaining it. Like, it was supposed to be like, oh, they're not like other couples. But it kind of made me really sad because the only comment he made was about her side profile of her breasts and the fact that they could be up a little bit more. And again, I was like, oh, like, my chest looked like hers. I was like, so that would be something that I would need to fix too. And so those two things are when I first started realizing that maybe my chest weren't like the best thing ever. And then I guess I never, and then I just always wore bras because of that, because, you know, it fixes the problem. And people would always tell me like, oh, you have like a great chest, blah blah blah. But then it doesn't go into the fact that once I take my bra off, it's not going to look the same way, and I don't want to feel unconfident or less beautiful because of that. And I think from this week's experience, I have definitely gotten over that fear I've had of like, oh, people thinking I'm pretty with a bra on, and then being afraid of what people think when I don't have one on. And yeah, so that was like the goal of all of this, was not to be insecure about what my body naturally does. We got these pants because I'm gonna do yoga later on. We got this shirt, just a nice white t-shirt, staple, and then express tank top underneath. So yeah, my nipples are out, and I think they've been out this whole time. You know what? I'm not gonna be insecure about this. People, control your thoughts, please. And also, I just want to show off my eye makeup for a second. Like, I don't know why I watched this girl's video and it was like e-girl eyeliner. I don't know why, I just feel like it doesn't look e-girl on me. I don't really know what it looks like, but I've been loving doing this look. Like, I didn't go anywhere yesterday, you guys, and I just put this on because I feel like such a bad biddy. I feel like a bad biddy with this eye makeup on. But yeah, day one, and I'll show you guys all my outfits, and maybe like I don't know, I gotta figure this out because I don't want this to be too long. You understand? Okay, bye.
Was a time I was an alligator swamp monster. Jumping in a river once or twice was enough for you. So you might think I'm lying, you can feel it on my skin, gets rough and scaly soon as you walk in. So was a time felt like an alligator swamp monster. And you can tell your friends that I'm being kinda rude, but I love to hear the sound of the dog closing after you.
Hey everybody, I just wanted to do a quick update. I am using my front camera I'm using my front camera, so it's gonna be a little bit less, like, not so great quality. And it's a little bit darker outside too. But here's the fit for today. I'm wearing like a tank top that's a little form-fitting, so it's giving me a little bit more support, but not a lot. And I had class today, and it was a little awkward running around with no bra on. Like, I had to run a couple times because I didn't want to miss light, and it was interesting, like an interesting feeling. But yeah, I'm feeling good, feeling surprisingly really confident, so yeah.
Pick up an ink pen, I got a lot of teeth and a bird that cleans them. Well, symbiosis is a beautiful thing. So then you start to ask, well, why are you so angry then? Well, maybe it's cause I barely got knees and I'm still getting hunted by a man named Steve. And every now and then I might go a bit crazy when you
Now that I'm done with the experience, I just want to look back at it real quick. The only day that I had a really hard time with was surprisingly my yoga outfit day. I think I had an outfit on before that, I can't remember what it was, but that outfit I showed you, I was really insecure in it, and then it was even more insecure being in yoga with it. And the reason why is one boob is bigger than the other for me, and so and you can kind of see that in the video, and it was always been something I've been insecure about. Like, ever since I was younger, they've always been uneven, and my mom was like, you'll grow into it, and it kind of did, but then once your chest gets bigger, it exaggerates that difference in size even more. For me, that's what I saw happen. Like, it wasn't as obvious as it is now, and so it's just been like a new thing, maybe over the last year, that I've been just embarrassed about, like, why is it bigger? But after this, I feel a bit more confident about it. Like, I still notice it, but it's not too bad. But anyway, so I was really embarrassed in yoga because, one, I didn't have a bra on, and this is the first time I hadn't worn a bra, and as you guys saw, like, I'm growing out my armpit hair, or I've been growing it out. I trimmed it the other day. But anyways, it was just like two things that, yoga's full of women. First, they're full of women that don't look anything like me. They're all older, they're all like white, and they're all very like lean, like, and small, and they're all hairless, which is funny because I kind of thought like, but I always just thought that when I went to yoga, I'd be able to find people that like me, if that makes sense. Like, I kind of thought there'd be, I know that yoga necessarily isn't all the way for black people, but I follow so many black yoga people that I forget sometimes. So it was just kind of shocking going in there, and, you know, like, going to like multiple different classes and just being the only person of color. Like, there's not even anybody that's like not white. So that kind of made me uncomfortable at first. And then I also got uncomfortable with the fact that, like, I'm always the largest person in the room, and then I'm always the hairiest person in the room. And even though, like, I'm able to go out and do it, it still makes me insecure. And so, on top of that, not wearing a bra for a second, not even for a second, like, for my whole relaxed period before we actually got into the flow, I wanted to leave. And I also, it was frustrating too because it was my first time up front as well in this yoga class, and because I usually sit in the back, but I got there late. So it was just all of this stuff all at once, and I was terrified. Like, I'm gonna be honest, I was terrified, I was embarrassed, I felt shame, and then I got through it. And because there was also, like, there's multiple women, but there's also men in there too. I think there's 2 men, and I was like, oh my gosh, like, what are they gonna think? Like, I was also thinking about the men's opinions on top of the women's opinions, and by the end of it, I kind of just got over it. I was like, you know what? I was like, if they're taking the time to judge my body while we're supposed to be focusing on, like, what's going on inside, that's on them. I don't want to take the time that I allotted in my schedule to focus on bettering my state of being. So I was able to like tune that out for the most part, and I felt so good. Like I felt so strong and empowered by the end of the yoga session. So yeah, it's daunting at first, you guys, and I'm not going to be the one that says, oh, I went into it so brave. I didn't. And if I would have had a scapegoat to that situation, I probably would have left, but I stuck through with it, and I'm really happy that I did, because I know for sure now if I'm put in a situation where I feel insecure, I can work my way through it and not feel like my self-worth has gone down. So yeah, and I really hope that all of you are able to do something like this. It's Women's Month, I think it's Women's Month now, and this would just be a great time to figure out what your fight for the liberation of women is going to be. Like, it doesn't have to be the same things I do. Yours could be going into a STEM field. You know, that's a really long thing, but maybe tackle something for the month, like, oh, I'm not gonna wear makeup for a week if you're used to wearing makeup for a long time. Just look at something that you've normalized in your life and ask yourself, why do I do this? And can it stem back to men? And then just by freeing yourself of that for just even a short period of time like I did, I think is a good step in like fighting for liberation of women and fighting for us to be natural and feel okay about that. So yes. Okay, anyways, let me get off my soapbox. I really hope you guys enjoyed this. This was my second episode of my glow up, I guess. Not glow up, I don't want to call it that. I was talking to somebody in the comments. I watched this thing about why glow ups are problematic, but I'm hoping because I'm doing something that has nothing to do with changing your outside, that it's okay to call this a glow up. So this was supposed to be the second part of my glow up part. And I know some of you guys wanted an update about the 6-month whole change my life thing, but the reason why I stopped doing that was because I got way too focused on weight, and that's all I was recording in my videos, so I really didn't have anything to give you guys that I thought was beneficial. I think if I could have done more balance between weight loss and stuff like I'm doing now, then it would have been great, but I just didn't. So we're going to be doing some glow up before summer, because summer's coming up soon, and I just want to have less burdens when the summer comes around about how I feel about my body, and but internally, like if I stay the exact same way I look now, by the time summer comes, I don't want to be sad about it like I usually am. So that's the goal for the next, I started in January, but I think there's 3 months left. I count June as summer, so yeah. Okay, you guys, I'm gonna get off and go study. Make sure to like and subscribe so you can follow along, and let's follow each other on Instagram. Bye.
I might go a bit crazy when you come